No, don't attack me. Oh, it's because, yeah. Interrupt programming on small British sports cars to look at a large fat one. British car, that is not a sports car. So I'm going to the Tasty Classics 100,000 sub thingy next week, and this is in pretty good fettle. There's just a few little tweaks. Normal one, I'm going to just redo the brake fluid because I haven't done that in a little while. This one may surprise you. Don't tell anyone, but there's an oil leak. I know. Who knew? And I think what it is, it's a military gearbox, and on top of the actual main box there's a fill point for some reason, which is held down with a tiny piece of spring steel. Yes. And the idea is that should seal it. I don't think that seals, and I think it sprays gearbox oil out of the top of the gearbox and then drips down, because the major ones, look at that, and then straight pipe it. No, not straight pipe. There's only one silencer in it anyway. I would like to do some heat shielding. This is the V8 conversion exhaust, the Miller, whatever kit, and I mean, we might have to do a bit of repainting as well. I'm sure it's got nothing to do with the heat. Looks like brand new underneath. Pfft, that's good still. Lovely, yeah, we'll have to do that. These put so much heat into my dear lady wife's legs. Essentially, she's not a fan, and quite rightly too. Is that it? Oh no, there's one more as well. We should have a plate here that holds the bottom of the steering idler. I'm not sold. It's the source of a very small amount of play, really. But it should be there, so I think I'll put it on. What else? Oh, I want to change the thermostat, because I've never changed the thermostat, so God knows what it's like. So we're going to pop the drop link off. We'll mark it first, and we're going to set about fitting that. So we have to drill some heels. I don't know whether the bolts are just broken off in there somewhere. I don't rightly know. Let's not mark that anyway. There we go. Easy, tiger. That's it. I'm going to have that bottle out, I think. Don't be alarmed by the movement, it's just because it's on the long arms on the ramp. Oh, that's definitely an M10 of some kind. More metric. As anything like this, the easiest way to remove it is just donk a chisel in the back of it, and it opens up the clamping part. So how does this work? Oh, I see. I see. Not even fit. Was this why it was taken off? No! Don't attack me! Oh, it's because, yeah. In the words of Junkyard Digs, well, I don't know if it's fixed, but it certainly is different. What we used there were permanent bolts. So that's not just a single skin. So I can't use riv nuts and stuff. And drilling straight up to re-tap with some bolts would mean removing the front axle, which I can tell you now is not happening for a little plate. So I've welded it on. But then the steering idler does come out the top, so you know, is that the end of the world? I don't think so. I can't really think of why it would be bad. I don't think there was any movement particularly in it before, but there certainly isn't now. Okay, that's good. I'm having one of those days where you go into the shed and you think, this is going to be good. I'm really fired up. It's going to be great. And then everything from start to finish goes wrong. It's over there, by the way. So that's a job. That's a job done. If you're having a bad day, that's the best tip I can give you. Do something easy. And then when that goes tits up, at least it isn't as tits up as the other thing you've tried to do. So something's done. What do you want to do now? Oil leak. So we need to get down and hop into the cabin, and oh, it's going to be so hot. No matter. Crack on. Let's do it. Now we are just shooting around, doing all the drum brake adjustment. Very simple. Well, actually not as simple as most drum brake cars, but still pretty simple. On most drum brake cars, on a lot of American stuff, you have a self-adjuster somewhere at the bottom, which will ratchet itself out, or you can put a screwdriver through the back plate and click it, and that'll sort of catch the pads further out in the drum. As the material wears down, obviously, your wheel cylinders have to be pushed further to hit the drum. You're with me, right? Most British cars have one manual adjuster, so you turn it clockwise to push the pad out towards the drum, and then the other way to go in. Land Rover has two. Basically, turn it clockwise until you can't turn the wheel, and then back until it doesn't do that. And that's where the fun of having two comes in. So there you go. Make sure one's backed off, and then just adjust one slowly, like that. So that's locked up. Go back one, and then just a really light drag. That's better. And then repeat on all four corners, and then bleed your brakes. Because otherwise, when you're bleeding it, you're going to have to be pushing that pad out first. Yeah, do your adjustments, and then we're going to change the fluid and bleed them at the same time. So there shouldn't really be air in the system anyway, but getting there. It's so hot, isn't it? We're on the floor now. Long-term viewers, if you are a long-term viewer, thank you very much. I think it's so cool that people continue watching me do this stuff. Anyway, thank you. I've had about, probably since the last time the Series 3 appeared, we've probably had 100 plus more subs, so this is my Series 3. Anyway, it's a 109, it's a Rover V8 EFI 3.5 with the Lucas system. It has high ratio transfer gears in the box from Ashcroft, and big wheels and tyres, which I don't really like. I'd like to contemplate maybe put wolf rims on or go back to standard. But they gear it up again, and the gearing does make it 50 miles an hour with the gearing. You can have a chat, which is quite fantastic. But the interior is also quite different. I've probably shown it in some videos. Now, what's different on the face of it is this is a lot bigger. It's not as shrink wrapped, so the bulkhead comes out further, and then all these removable panels are just customised to fit. I covered them in this stuff, which I really like. It's really original. It's not probably the best for sound deadening, but you know, same with the door cards. But it's fantastically original looking. It's the same material that was used in station wagon trim, and we have some big rubber mats to go over that. I would like to put a bit more insulation. I'd like another insulation pad on top, I think, just because you still get all the heat from the engine. It's not very thick. I should have put some stuff in the engine bay, I think, on the back of this. But, well, maybe we could add that to the list. So we're now, I want to see whether this is leaking. That filler thing that the military added to it. We're gonna take that off, so I think I've got to take the floors out. Everything in Land Rover interior is held together with these like Acme screws, and they go into a clipped on captive thread in there, and there's just a couple of bolts in there. So if you have one of these, tell you what, adding this stuff made a world of difference. The noise, I mean, listen to that. That is one layer of just your standard bitumen, foil backed bitumen. It just takes all that ringing out because it's all really thin aluminium panels. It just takes out the interior, and it's, well, I mean, it's not luxurious, but I would say it makes it livable for a good couple of hours. It's a lot better than it was. Other people's mileage may vary. But let's get that middle one out. It takes about 10 minutes to get down to that state, so a little bit longer than a standard car, but not too bad. Now, one thing you can see, again, is why it gets so hot in here is this conversion exhaust. Oh, close. Not any place to put any heat shielding, but anyway. So, this is the scoundrel. This is the breather for the gearbox, I think, which has seemingly disappeared. I'm sure there should be something in there. And it has an O-ring that I've obviously tried to seal before. Not very well. And all it's held down by is this. And I've tried bending that and it doesn't make any difference. So I think, I don't really want to, but I think we'll clean all this up and then... Any harm in tiger sealing it down? I want to know whether that is the leak. And looking at the amount of oil that's there, I think this is where a lot of my gearbox oil is coming from underneath. So I am going to tiger seal that down, I think. Yeah, because I can't find an O-ring for that. I don't know if it's like a military, well, it is a military part because it's not so hot. It's not fitted to standard cars, so I'm going to seal that up, put that back together, and then the other thing before we put the floors back down, I'm going to take that panel off. I just want to make sure there's no oil coming off the back of the engine, off the back of the valley gasket, because the China wall seal on the back of that can pop out, and that may be also one of the sources of our leaks, though most of it looks like gearbox oil. But I'm blathering, so on the momento. Right, here's the slight mess. Ignore the sheer amount of silicone. Yeah, it's everywhere. So I've used some high temp stuff, but that's sealed down. We've then put a filter mesh, which is actually some Scotch-Brite, in between two washers to increase the pressure down onto it, and I'm going to let that set. It's a Voltrolub something or other. Which one is it? Lucella. It works, and I just couldn't do it with Tiger Seal. Felt wrong because, as we all know, Tiger Seal is stronger than welding. So that's done. Hopefully, I'm hoping that's one of our big leaks. Just want to pop this little cover off and check the back of the engine now. Nice. Did you see what did you do with my screwdriver? Come on, guys. What did you do with it? So I sealed these together using EPDM foam tape, like the line defenders were, which works very well, but it does seem to stay sticky. Right, a couple on that side. It's quite good stuff. It goes sticky, but it doesn't really tear when you take it off, so you still get a decent seal. Ah, perfect, yeah. I mean, that's not too bad. I think if the China wall had gone, we'd be coated in oil back there. Is that a bit of moisture? Oh my god, this in for a penny, in for a pound. May as well take the last ones out as well, mightn't we? Is that a pound coin? I'm rich! Beyond my wildest dreams. Oh! Is that a thumbnail? Awesome! This is the back of it. So you see the back of the rocker covers there, some coolant lines, fuel pressure regulator, all sorts. And there is a little bit of oil there, but not a lot. There's a little bit of coolant as well, so I'll just check those two coolant connections under there. It's got to be the oh god, this is very hard to film because my stupid battery lights ran out of battery. These coolant connections, awful piece of design. It's not great having the clutch cable run down there either, is it really? But there we are. So what we can do down there, I don't think it's not gone. When that China wall sort of seal goes, oil will just drench itself down the back of the engine. So I'm gonna give all that a clean up anyway. I did do it when I changed all that. I ran it up and made sure it didn't leak. So, but no, I'm fairly happy with that. I think our gearbox one's probably our main leak. And along with that all sets, we've got a proper little, there's a breather mesh on there now rather than a broken piece of plastic. Yes, it's a piece of Scotch-Brite, but it's a mesh, isn't it? Then we'll reassemble all of that and then move on to the next job, which a sea of vinyl and rubber. That sort of thing is usually banned on YouTube, so think yourselves lucky. Next one is I want to change the thermostat. And my gosh, do those bolts terrify me. Yes, and they should terrify you too. That one though came loose, no problem whatsoever. The other one's a bit harder to get to. I've just got the coolant draining. Try to open a bit more. Being an old car, it's got a drain cock. And then the idea is I want to change the radiator. I might change the radiator as well. I've got an older one which I think is probably better quality than this patterny new one. And then we have up there a proper old Kenlo that I'm going to try and fit on the back of it rather than have a, so we can have a puller rather than a pusher, because they're more efficient, because you haven't got a fan blocking the radiator. So let's get the coolant out, then go have a pizza. There we go. Well, that went about as well as you can all imagine. I can't believe one of them came off. Sadly, the other one has, yeah. Oh dear, it's a bit rusty. The thermostat looks terrible. Tasty. That should no longer be there. I think we've got enough room to try and weld a nut onto it there, because that always works, right? I think we're going to soak it in some fluid, and then we can have a pizza and a beer about it. You little bastard. Now listen, you are going to come out of there if it's the last thing I ever do. We have that, we have that, we have that, and we have a look of steely determination. You were scared as well, weren't you? Now if you were that bolt, you'd come out. Here's the plan. Weld, 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 weld. Then heat, because we can get that along all the length of it, and then hopefully it will come out. Who knows? Little tips: use a nice big nut. Get your minds out the gutter, you lot. Use a nice big nut so you can get as much weld as you can onto the stud. Let it heat up, and then we're going to spray it down. And then that will cause it. It will cause it to shrink and expand, which hopefully breaks the sort of the rust seal. Also, as you spray and it cools, it should suck some of that oil down into the thread. Then we're going to heat it up with the torch, because you can see the thread through the hole, and that should make sure we've got heat all the way down. Then we're going to undo it, and it's all come out nice and easily. What? What do you mean you've been here before and that never works, Peter? You're going to have to take the entire inlet manifold off and drill it out to refit it. Don't be so pessimistic. This is attempt numero 2. Come on. That's either breaking off or undoing. There might be undoing. There might be what doing? Oh my fludging God. Oh yeah! You're joining me all the way through this. Sorry about the lighting. But there's a very large spare wheel on the bonnet, so I can't be bothered to put it into service position, which is on the floor. Oh my God. I mean, I knew that would work. I have beer. My adversary is beaten. Now, I'll tell you, one of the reasons that did work, in all fairness, is all the bolts that go into over V8s have got an extremely coarse thread, which makes it more likely they're ever going to come off. It's also, hey, give it to me, it's a bit of technique. It's not a lot of technique. No, the key is don't use a close fitting bolt, I think. Don't use one that you can thread on either. whack the power up as high as it will go, and get it hot, and then you start to build that weld pool. And because you use a nice big bolt, that weld has somewhere to go. It will actually sort of penetrate in. You'll make a little pool rather than just sort of building your weld off. Because then you're getting loads of penetration on the nut, but you're going to get none on the bolt, because obviously the bolt shaft is far down, and it's stuck in a massive lump of aluminium, which of course is a fantastic heatsink, isn't it? Shh, look. That thread looks absolutely fine. Look, we could just put that back as a bolt now, couldn't we? It's gone from bolt to stud to bolt. Now we'll use a new one. Come on! Yes! 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 Today's drink of choice for removing stuck and snap bolts is Hazy Jane by Brewdog. This is an 88 degree thermostat. Which is obviously a lot higher. But then again, I mean, it's an easy thing to swap, so that's what we have. So I'll fit it. It's the right part number for 3.5 V8s in Range Rovers and Defenders, so it's the right one for that engine. Okay, we'll see how it goes. I will also, actually we can probably, should we do some science? Science. Fire related science. So basically there's a wax, oh it's on fire now, there's a little wax in that little ball thingy, and as it gets hot it opens some way, shape or form. Actually, while I'm waiting for the silicone to like tack off, if your thermostat has jingle balls, that little the little thingy there we were talking about, make sure they're fitted at 12 o'clock if it's upright. I guess if it's not upright it doesn't matter, does it? But if you do have jingle balls, make sure they're at 12 o'clock because it lets the air through. That's what I'm reliably informed. Ah, what great timing. Okay, we have to move the distributor, so we're just going to check the timing, and we're going to use this inductive timing gun. So you want a 12 volt supply to it, and then it's just got an inductive pickup that you put on plug number 1 on the road, plug number 1 being this on the front. I don't know whether this will work on camera. Basically, it'll strobe. Doesn't really work on camera. It'll strobe on. So basically, it'll strobe every single time plug number 1 fires. Your light will pulse, and then you can see your timing marks. Row V8 should be 4 to 6, something like that. Apparently, 3.5. But as with any engine on timing, the correct timing is where it runs best. Do all your checks first, you'll make sure you've got no induction leaks, anything like that. So basics, you know, sensors reading correctly, stuff like that, and then do your timing. Like I said, we're only doing this because we have to move the distributor. I think this was more between actually 6, 7 that it ran best at. So I'm going to set it at that, let the system bleed itself, then we'll see how we get on. Go for a test drive. Now, I wasn't filming there. Well, I thought I was filming, but clearly I wasn't filming. So now I'm filming. We suddenly started losing spark. Thought that's odd. So the RPMs dropped, and thought, well, maybe it's engine speed, but it doesn't really matter what the engine speed is. If the timing light sees a spark, you'll get a flash. So I'm losing spark. This is weird. And there's the exact time I was playing with the timing, so straight away your mind goes to, what have I done? What have I done? Have I ruined it? Have I broken something? So I checked all the electrical connections. Again, only seem to get spark at higher revs. Very strange. Now, I thought coil then. So I checked all the leads, all good. As I moved my way over to that end where I keep this, if you smelt burning electrical smell, you know what that smells like, don't you? It smells like not very nice. It smells like a sort of really musty room filled with used cowboy boots would smell, I think, or loads of old like baseball gloves, and that was it. And it's all like melty there, and it just stinks, and it was really quite hot. Now that is from PowerSpark. That's a Viper coil, so that means that has lasted 2 years. And probably, well, you can check the MOT history, you can see the plate, not very many miles. Now I don't know whether, I mean, it felt like the King lead was on there properly, but look, I mean, the top of it's melted. So, I mean, maybe it was a bad connection, but that smell is not just that. That smell is electronics, or sorry, transformers and stuff. That is that kind of melting smell. I don't think it's just that. That's a shame. Anyway, luckily I'm a hoarder and I don't throw anything away. So I've got a brand new coil from before I changed the distributor. Well, pretty much new, and now it runs so nice. So have a listen. As ever, static revving really doesn't mean a lot, but it's smooth as hell. It's never been that smooth before. So, we'll really tell on the road test, but you know, we're working, that's the main thing, so I can take the timing gun with me. Well, you don't even need to take the timing gun with you, but 9/16 spanner, drive around, see what it's like under load, really. I think the rule of thumb is you get it as advanced as you can without it pinking. And you'll hear pinging or pinking or whatever people say it under load. Sounds like a load of little raindrops on a tin roof. That's what I've heard anyway. But, you know, that's great. I'm really happy with that. And I put a K&N filter on it and it sounds amazing. And we're off. It's the morning of trying to lock the doors in the Land Rover. Hello dear. Moist. I need to give you a different foot. So what's our trip? We are going off to Chester, not via motorways, funnily enough. Where are we actually going? I think it's just A5 or A6, depending on what it says. That'll do. We have cup holders now, only the finest Amazon cup holders, of course. I've got my stuff there, batteries can go in there as well. I don't know how good my wipers are. I suppose we will soon see. The other thing I've just thought is that, well, hopefully you're quite a wide angle, because otherwise you might just see a tyre. So we want to go to Chocks Away Diner, Flintshire. Can you see where I live on that? Can't now. Going that way. Ah, well, there we go. Don't know why it does that, but it gets the oil pressure up, doesn't it? It's not too loud, but as I'm on my own, it's better than my Bluetooth speaker. First, no problem. Second, okay. Third is obviously alright. Fourth, though, is in the cup holder. At least I didn't stick them down with really strong 3M tape. Oh well. Morning, team. Well, I'll chuck up a load of photos from the show, but that was good fun. A fantastically mad range of cars, as you'd hope. That was, if anyone, that was Tasty Classics 100,000 sub special. At the Chocks Away Diner. It was good fun, very good fun indeed. That's quite a nice route yesterday, I enjoyed that. I'm running out of podcasts though. And we still need a new wiper blade. If that gets really annoying again, I'm absolutely going to take that passenger blade off. And no thunderstorm warnings, only moderate rain warnings. Is that a belt slip? That could be a belt slip. I might have to just check that first. We nearly got away with doing the whole trip without getting the tools out. I'm going to turn it for the books, wouldn't it? Okay. Have an unhealthy release bearing, but I can't do much about that. Well, thank you, Chester, for a lovely night out and a nice car show. So, off we go. Surprisingly slightly wet in here now. You might see it dripping in the back. I don't think I've quite sorted all the leaks. But I have remembered to shut my vent this time. Well done if you've got this far. Thank you very, very, very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe, like, comment, and all that lovely stuff. And I will see you on the next one on the TVR, or probably changing the clutch release bearing. Yay!